We want to talk some of the offense. Again, you being the guru there, and some of it we just want to kind of get your ideas on what the thought process is. Some of
Mm-hmm.
it could be technical issues and things of that nature. So these aren't necessarily plays that were home run hitters or something of that nature, but just a little bit of film that we got to see. I
Yep.
think you're right on point that there wasn't a whole lot of offense going on that was making making me pop out and be like, ooh, this kind of thing. So this first play is a pass in the concept. I kind of wanted you to talk through this a little bit. JT lets it go for you and see.
Oh,
Right. So first thing I saw was his footwork. I kind of want you to hit on that.
yep.
Quarterback. I don't know if that was when he moved to the right. I'm just my novice eyes. I'm going like, oh, what is that for? And why did he not stay in the pocket? And then you can go on from the rest of the play.
Okay. So this is kind of one of their bread and butter plays. They've used this all year long. So what this is this is a half roll by the quarterback, a boot pull up. Okay. So um, they're they run this play different ways. They bring a tailback out here in the flat. They will do this play in 12 personnel and bring a tight end in motion and shoot him out in the flat, or they will bring a receiver and shoot him out in the flat. And the tight end here, who's on the edge of the line, his job is to pin that defensive end. Okay. Now, what Missouri did, and they were smart because they said, okay, anytime the ball's on the hash and there's a tight end off the ball to our side, and he's in a hipped position with the tackle, we are going to be prepared for this play. What they want to do is they want to pin that defensive end out so the quarterback can roll out, and they've got a comeback down here at the bottom. They've got a curl route by the number 2 receiver on the inside who should stay on the hash. He gets pushed inside, and then you got a guy out in the flat, and if it's all covered, the quarterback can roll. What Missouri did was when the defensive end got lined up and he saw that tight end in a hip position, he widened out to a 9 technique and said, you ain't going to pin me.
Instead
And
of being
so
that old 7 technique we talk
that's
about.
right. That's right. So instead of pinning and allowing the quarterback to get outside and to be an extra ball carrier, they said, no, we're going to make you pull up. So they were prepared for this play. Like I said, they run this play several different ways, and Missouri put a stop to it. OU had some success early in their season. It's a way to get the quarterback out of the pocket, let him get the ball out of his hand, give it to a guy, go get you about 7-8 yards. But Missouri had a good plan for this.
Okay, excellent. I don't know if you need to see that from the back end or whatever, but all right, next play. Run action. I think you're saying that this is probably one of the best pieces, to the game. So I just thought it was interesting in the how they actually put this together. Are we okay?
So,
Here we go.
so let it go there, JT. So this is what's called a power read. Okay, so we talked earlier about OU's offensive line kind of struggling this year, really struggling with just true zone blocking. As you know, zone blocking, George, it's basically man on man trying to push him off the line of scrimmage. So as the season's gone along, most of the season they've been running a lot of, down blocks and pulls and kick outs to try to get better angles to help their offensive line. But this is what's called a power read. The front side tailback, he's gonna arc around the defensive end and block the first player outside the box. The quarterback's going to read the defensive end. If the defensive end would close, the quarterback's going to hand the ball off, and it's just going to be a true outside lead zone. If the defensive end widens, the quarterback becomes the ball carrier. We're going to pull the guard around for the inside linebacker. So it gives you options. And I can't recall. So the defensive end kind of got up the field. He's flat-footed. so the quarterback's the ball carrier, and the guard is pulling around for the front side linebacker. So you got options. You could hand it off, you could run it, and I did not see the receivers out there. You don't need to go back, JT, but there's probably 2 receivers out there. They're probably running hitches, and if the hitch looks good, they're running bubble. They're running a bubble down here. So he could have taken this ball and thrown this ball out here, if he gets any kind of blitz off the edge. So you've got a chance to throw it. You got a chance to hand off to the tailback, or you got a chance for the quarterback to keep the ball.
All right. Just one thing, if you go back to the tail end, JT, just as far as the technique of this wrapper, that's coming up for the as they're trying to climb up to these linebackers, what are you telling these guys? I know he's kicking out, but I think it's the left guard that actually tries to come up, or I don't know. Once we'll see which one is actually tries to come up and get number 11.
I think it's the right guard there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you telling him to do at this point?
Well,
he's in space
you're just trying to do the best you can. I mean, you can sit here and talk to the guy, hey, we want to get outside leverage, or we want to get inside leverage. He ain't a good enough athlete to block George Teague out there in space. So you better when I was still there, we told him come around there and square him up and let the quarterback, he's a better athlete, let him make the cut off of you. So don't stress the offensive lineman and I don't mean it in a bad way, but they're not as good athletes on the field as everybody else. So you come around and square that guy up and let the quarterback cut off of you.
So he grazed good on that one, is what you're saying. Because he squared up, got him, make him commit, and then the quarterback does his thing.
Yeah, and look at the backside. Look at the lineman coming here on the backside. I want to show this. Go back there. Where did he come from, JT? Was that the center?
Yes, that's the center.
Okay, well, watch him. Just watch him keep playing. Let the play go and watch him just keep playing ball. You keep playing ball, keep playing ball, keep playing ball, keep playing ball, and he pushed the guy past the hole. He didn't knock him down. He didn't pancake him, but he stayed active. He kept his hands on him. And Coach Beanbo, the offensive line coach, is a great friend of mine. He's been at OU for a long time. He's one of the best offensive line coaches in the country.
All right. Excellent. All right. We'll go on to the next one. We got another pass play. So we chose just a few different plays just because, again, there wasn't a lot of deep shots or things down the field. Looked like that they're trying to get the ball out of his hand kind of quick for the most part. So this is
and George, let me just say one thing about that. That's one thing that they do not do is they don't throw the ball downfield. And it's been talked about all year long. They did not throw one ball past 12 yards in this game until late in the third quarter. They just don't throw the ball down the field, and that ain't good because you got safeties and corners that are squatting on everything you're doing. So, anyways, that's
a good point.
It's been a bad thing for them.
Yeah, and that's going to be beneficial for Alabama. I mean, if you're going to attack them through the air, do you want deep and outside is really kind of where the weakness is.
The corners,
with those young guys. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this concept here, this is just a true spot route into the boundary. You got the outside receiver who's pushing up, and he's going to settle down, kind of in an outside linebacker area about 5 or 6 yards. This is what we call a spot dig. So the tight end, he's releasing first. A lot of times that tight end runs a corner route, and you have a swing by the back in the backfield, and you can high-low. You can take the spot, or you can take the corner, or you can take the tailback. But this time they digged the tight end so they can high-low the linebacker. It looks like the tight end gets pushed a little wide here by the outside linebacker and never gets back over in the middle in there. The ball should be out of his hand right now because the spot route with the outside receiver is open. And then to the field, probably have 2 slants out here. And again, the quarterback is reading single safety or 2 safety. If it's 2 safety, he's probably going to stay down here with these slants. If it's single safety, he's probably going to stay front side. So it gives the quarterback options pre-snap what to do with the ball.
All right. That's good. He's got to get rid of it. It seemed like it was on time. And well done. Just got to ride to the ball on defense and make the tackle because he's, run after catch. All right. Another pass. Start getting down here in the red zone a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta move us out of the way. 1 second.
Kill the cameras. Or whatever you call it.
Yeah, all right. I got my drawing tool going. Here we go. We're just gonna move us.
There
over
you
here.
go.
Ooh, look at my man over here getting us together, boy. Just picking up all these pictures. That's why, hey, Gundy, I pay him very, very well.
Oh yeah, so well. Oh my god.
I know JT. I pay my kids the same way.
Yeah, no attention.
Yeah, that's right. I pay him well. All right, here we go. Pass.
Okay, so this is the hot play in all of college football and NFL. It's called an RPO, run pass option.
Yeah, I want to
Okay.
hear. Talk through that for me too, but tell me if you like all of this. Now, I'm going to be more critical than you because I'm going. All right, it almost seemed like it's a one. Maybe it's supposed to be a run, but it just seemed like it was like a single man route. These guys down here at the bottom aren't doing a whole lot. I don't even know if they're a real option or not. So, go ahead and talk to us about that, and then how you just.
Okay, so quarterback has three options here. Okay, they've got hitches to the field out here, and at any given time, if he can take a 6-yard hitch, he's going to throw it out there and take 6 yards. I mean, you're going to take 2nd and 4 all day long. So that's his first read. He knows before the ball snapped, I'm getting rid of the ball and going out here right now. Okay, the second one is the RPO. I don't know. The jury's still out, in my opinion, on these RPOs. Some people can do it good. Some people struggle with it. It's when you talk about it, it's easier to talk about and to execute than it seems to be on the field. So run pass option, okay, quarterback. So they've got the zone insert here. They're running inside zone, looks like just an isolation play. And the quarterback is reading that boundary safety. If that boundary safety is low, which he is there compared to the field safety, since that boundary safety is low, the quarterback is going to ride the ball into the back, and he's going to pull it, and he should throw it. If that safety is high, the ball should be handed off. Okay, so you're going to see this play. You can let it go, JT, that quarterback takes a good read, reads it, safety's down, he turns to throw it, but the safety is still in the window, so he has to squeeze it. And when he has to squeeze it, it becomes a dead play. Why? Because your offensive linemen are blocking run game.
Downfield.
Okay.
Way downfield.
People are getting down the field. So because you're right tackle and everybody's blocking like the run, I mean, those guys are going to come off of them right now. So the quarterback had the right read, but the safety was in the throwing window, and that's why he did not deliver that ball. The inside, the receiver to the boundary is running his little skinny, and there's a place to throw it in there, but the safety's in the window. I think you can see from this area here. Circle that safety there, JT. That's the guy that since he's down low, you'd like to get the ball right behind him, right in that window there, and you can see the quarterback here fake the run here, get the safety to bite a little, but that safety bails out and gets in that window, George.
Yeah,
and he can't. If he tries to throw it the second window, here comes the other safety that's coming over here.
He probably sees that guy to his front side glaring down right at him too.
Yep. And so now your quarterback, you got to scramble. You got to get rid of the ball. Your linemen are, again, they only have, I don't know what it is, 2 or 3 yards to go downfield. That's another big topic.
And he can't even throw this ball away, right? Because even if he throws it away, it's you got an eligible man downfield. He's actually just running for his life at this point.
And here's what the offensive linemen are taught in this situation. If they turn around and see the quarterback scrambling, they immediately start running back to the line of scrimmage. Because what happens is a lot of time when the quarterback scrambles in this situation, what does he always do when he scrambles? If he can't complete it, he throws it away.
Mm-hmm.
And so, can your quarterback, there's a lot of stuff going on now. That quarterback, he running for his life. He's used to just to getting rid of the ball and not taking a sack. So you teach your linemen, if you see the quarterback running on RPO, if you're 2 or 3 yards down the field, you better run back. So that way, if he does throw it, everybody's within that couple yards, and it's not a legal man downfield.
JT, we might have to put that on the.
Yeah,
I see
that's
your brain going like,
that's
you're
I don't like
downfield.
that.
You don't get to come back,
Right? Yes.
and not be downfield anymore because he's bought time. I don't know about
No,
that
because to me that sounds like, well, I had 12 people on the field, and he ran off, but then he came back. You know, this is the Oregon all over again. Just like, just run him out there and take the penalty.
Yeah, right. Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right.
This is a good concept here. So, okay, so it's what we call a spot concept to the field where the motion's going. You got two receivers kind of in tight splits. They're going to run they're both going to run spots. Again, quarterback can always take this single receiver down here if he likes it. I don't know what he's running. Probably a skinny or a slant, in my opinion, or a go ball. Okay, he's there you go. He's widening the guy to try to win on a slant. They got two spot routes up here. If it's open, he can take the spot route, get the ball out of his hand. If not, you got your tailback going in motion on a swing route or whip route, whatever you want to call it. Go back, JT. Watch this guy coming in motion. So this receiver who's coming in motion, his job is to block the corner. Okay, so if the ball ends up getting to the tailback, you got a guy blocking a corner down the field. So it's basically like a running back screen out there.
Are these two?
They're kind of
close. Too tight. I don't like it. I mean,
it feels like he needs to be getting across so that this other dude can sit here.
There's no doubt. I don't know if their alignment is too tight, but that's not a good thing right there. And again, you can see the outside receiver's press, so he had more of an inside release. But those two guys are standing on top of each other, and I don't like that. I think the outside receiver should be, probably halfway between the hash and the numbers, and the tight end should be a little bit more truly over the ball. And then the motion guy is going to go block the corner.
Like it.
Details. You coach them all week. You practice them all week. You got to do them how it is, but you don't get the same alignment. You know that scout team defensive guy doesn't line up the same way that you see, and then that's why your coaches, they got to coach them in the meetings, and they got to be prepared for whatever. You got to go over all this. Okay, I mean, you're going to have an inside defender. You got to release outside. You got a guy head up. You got to release inside. I mean, you got to be able to adjust on the move. You just can't go off of, what's on the board in a grease board. You got to be able to adjust on the field.
All right. I think we got another run. I can't remember which one it was, what type it was here. If this is
Okay. Yep. So.
You know what? I have before we get into this, I do have a question for you because I'm gonna ask this to like every offensive coordinator that I'm ever gonna run into. How can you tell? I guess necessarily, what do you look at when you're trying to determine whether or not this is gap scheme or zone without a puller? Because I mean, obviously, it's a gap scheme when you got a guy pulling. But when you have something maybe like an insert like this, or if it's duo, which I guess is technically gap scheme, but it just looks like zone. Like, how do you start making that difference?
I just got to look at it. I mean, I've just been around it and I've seen it. This is what's called. This is a true zone, but it's a zone insert. So what they're doing here is, and I mentioned this to I think I did earlier, when they run a true zone, if they run a true zone here, JT, if they're running inside zone going to the right between the center and right guard, the right tackle's blocking, double teaming out, everybody's going that way, and the tight end or fullback back here, he's going to go backside and block the defensive end. Okay, that's true zone. That's class 101. Zone insert, what they do is they do the same front side, they zone it, but backside, they man on, okay? So they're creating more space back there. No, I think that tackle is going to go out to your
Out.
left, I believe.
You're right. You're
And
right.
the fullback is going to come backside on that linebacker. So they're creating more space instead of zone blocking it. If you truly zone and you bring the left guard down and the left tackle down, and then the tight end goes backside, it squeezes your running lanes. So this zone insert, that tight end is going to go probably to the backside linebacker. And when he tries to go in this A gap, because there's a body there, the defensive tackle's in a 2-eye, he's going to blow that up and create more space for the running back.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep,
I was
there
kind
it
of.
is.
I was wondering what that was at number 10. I
Yeah.
was like, is he blocking the
Yeah.
wrong guy? Because
No,
I figured he was
if-
supposed to be going up to his other.
If that defensive tackle was in a three technique, it'd have been clear for the tight end to go to the backside linebacker. But since
No, so
there was
he's
somebody-
saying that you're saying his path is always supposed to be in there anyway. And if
Yes,
there's somebody
yes.
in this gap, just hit him. If he's
Clean it up.
shaded outside, you get
Yep.
you basically get a base block out here.
Yep.
He's going
Yep.
here, and then you can
Yep,
just
that's right. And you're creating more space there. You'd like to run it with the three technique back there to create a bigger window. So the tight end's he's gonna go through there and blow it up and knock it into a three technique.
Yeah, just good
So-
alignment by them.
Yeah.
But that,
And
you
then
know,
you've got a safety that's down the hole that's just one-on-one with the tailback.
I'm saying you just hate it because you end up getting. Well, you actually end up with two guys unblocked.
because you're not
So
getting
the
him
linebacker,
or
you
this
can't
guy
get
anymore.
him or you can't get him. Yeah. So
Well, you're not
Right.
going to get that safety out here anyways. That's where the RPO comes. We just saw the RPO, and that RPO was off this same look right there.
same look. Yep. But they got positive yards out of it. It was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we got a motion back out here. If the quarterback likes it and likes the leverage out here, throw it out here. Throw it to the tailback. Let the receivers block. But he doesn't like it because these guys are pressed. Probably going to get kind of dirty out here. So he's off of that, and we got the run game. So let's go to the tight end here, the tight view, JT. Let's see what we got here. So.
This action is pretty doggone good. I love this play.
Yep, he's going to freeze, take a look out there, and this is true QB run. This is a counter, guys. This is a true counter. You're pulling a guard, and true counter is pulling a guard and tackle, old school. But now you pull a guard and you pull a tight end. So the tight end front side, he's going to act like he's going left.
That's just let it
and
wear
now
the
he's
bird.
coming back out. That's right.
Pull a
Okay, yeah,
little
because I was
stuff
just
we
about to
saw
ask
last
you what's
week.
the difference between power and counter? Because my simple version is power's got one puller, counter's got two. But
That's right. But you're getting two with this tight end here.
gotcha, because he's taking that
Yep.
step and he's coming back this way.
You got it.
There
Your
it
right
is.
guard and tackle are double teaming that three to the backside linebacker. Center's blocking back. Guards pulling and kicking out. And tight end is inserting here. Look at the quarterback. Look at his eyes out here holding the
And
backside
there's his counter
linebackers.
steps by
Yep.
being able to just kind of sit there instead of actually taking a.
Yep. It should be a good play unless somebody comes off a block.
Oh, they got it right
should
here.
be good. There you go.
The safety had to come up and get him.
That's right. That's right. That's what those guys do.
See, I just love this.
Yeah, I like this one.
I love this type of running game. It just
But it depends who's carrying that ball right there. Not all of these dudes can do that.
Yeah, I was
And
going to
you
say,
don't-
I don't know if Jackson Arnold is the guy that you really want running counter all the time. If he's
Well, but Jackson has the body. Jackson's a ball
Okay.
carrier.
Okay.
Jackson runs with the ball very, very good. And now they're trying to get him. You can go ahead and let it go. You don't want guys taking licks like that all the time.
Mhm.
I mean, over a period of time, something's going to happen. But Jackson does run the ball. Jackson's a good sized kid, really is.
all right, we've got two more
Okay.
for you.
Oh, this is good stuff here too. We getting kinky now. Wait till I tell you what's going on here. So, all right. So this is a version of counter. This is exactly what you just saw.
Just
Okay.
without a tight end, though.
Okay, exactly. Your tight end's coming from the boundary over here. he should be coming in and cracking somebody.
He should be hitting the other guy. You said he's probably on the wrong dude. Or
yes.
Is that what you're saying? Maybe,
yes.
Perhaps. Yeah.
So,
right.
But because I don't know how they ID'd it, they might have ID'd it differently.
Mm-hmm.
But we ran this in the bowl game. We played Oregon in the Alamo Bowl. Matter of fact, when Lincoln Riley left and I was the offense coordinator, Coach Bob Stoops came in. We ran this versus Oregon. So this is counter. This is the same thing you just saw, but instead of that tight end coming from the backfield, he's just coming from out here, and we called it crack counter.
Okay, let me ask you something. I'm gonna say it's pretty technical, I guess here, just because I'm learning too, right? So it's really their left guard. So I was looking at it from our defense standpoint, saying, okay, is he supposed to be doubling this in? Were they supposed to chip up to 11? But then the other guy kind of stunts to the opposite side of the center, and then he bumps the nose tackle. So I see him double teaming there, and then he converts and goes to this other guy. You think that's just awareness? Something
yes,
good on his part that he's just saying?
It's awareness. He's well coached. They've got, again, who I think is one of the best offensive line coaches, and I coached with for a long time. They may not be the best offensive lineman in the game. They may not have anybody on that front five that will play in the NFL. They'll know what to do. They'll know who to block. They know the gaps. It's common sense. Okay, if this happens, then you got to adjust, and that's what I was telling you a while ago. Is, man, you've got to, when you teach these guys, all of your players, regardless of anything, when you talk to them about a play and you put up a scheme, you just don't show one scheme. You got to show, okay, what if they change? What if the ball snapped and this guy comes here and this happens? So you just got to go in detail and they can help do it the right way. But that's what they're doing. They're just adjusting on the run. And, sometimes it's going to be ugly, but they should be. That guard and tackle should be calling back to number 11. Center should be blocking on back on that shade, but that shade crossed his face, And so you just got to try to get in position, stick your butt in the hole because you know where the running back's going to go, and try to keep them out of there. It's all the best you can do.
All right. Well, man, this has been absolutely fabulous, and the insight that you brought to us with this. Are we back to the top, JT?
No, this is the last one here.
Okay.
Last play. This is just another split counter. Again, quarterback can throw it out here. If he likes it out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he didn't. There wasn't a trigger like last time.
That's right. And again, you're taking somewhat of a chance. If that inside DB down here has got his eyes in the backfield, he can trigger. That's a hard block, But you throw it out here. I mean, if like the outside receiver, in my opinion, if that guy's playing you man, outside release or run him off. Don't ever block him. If you can turn that DB and that DB's running, you don't have to block him. Run him all the way down the field. It looks like to me that inside receiver, that DB's got his eyes in the backfield. So that DB or that receiver has to block him. But this is still a counter in the backfield. Quarterback can throw it out here, and if he likes it. If not, you got to counter a QB carrying the ball, running the counter in the backfield. You can go to the end zone, JT, and you can see that. So just old school counter again. Same stuff we've been watching. Tight end, 1, 2, 3. Here they come. Right. And if the quarterback wants to, if he doesn't like it out there, he becomes the ball carrier.
He don't want to get hit no more balls. He's like, hey, man, I'm done with this. I'm out. This clip 50, man. Yeah, man, I'm done with this right here, man. We trying to get out of here. Oh, well, this is, I think, someone had mentioned about the, just the chess match and how many different things go into this. And I think you can't ever, as much as people want to talk about it, when you're going on the road and you're playing against somebody, you got to go up to Oklahoma. It doesn't matter what the records are, man. These guys are coached up, and it's going to be a battle. With it, I think we win. I think we're better. I think our defense stands up, and I don't know. I think our offense does well too.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk some defense here in a little while after we let him go. But I need for y'all to remember what Coach said is their defense is very strong, and when you see it, they are very, very good.
They will try to their chance for OU to have success in this game is to try to find a way to get 2 turnovers. If they can somehow get 2 turnovers from Alabama's offense, which Alabama hadn't turned the ball over in the last 3 games, they've got 9 turnovers on their defensive side. But, when you go on the road, turnovers. I mean, you played the game, you coached the game, you too, JT. 80% of the game's decided on who has more turnovers. Who you have more turnovers than the other guy, you're going to lose 80% of the time. And OU's has a major problem turning the ball over. But on the road, night game, I'm learning this. You can get beat in the SEC on any given Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get beat on the road in certain environments at nighttime in the SEC on any given Saturday. I don't know if OU is quite there yet, but you saw it last week with LSU and Florida. That Florida defense, they've been in the bottom 2 or 3 teams in the Southeastern Conference play all year. And they look like one of the best defenses in the country Saturday night playing against LSU, and South Carolina. Shane Beamer, he's an Oklahoma guy. You go down there at nighttime now, you get a little crazy down there.
George Teague here, formerly of the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Dallas Cowboys. So let me ask you a question. Are you an athlete or a coach looking to boost your online visibility? Well, you've got to check out On3. Their personalized web pages amplify the total you on and off the field. Whether you want to grow your visibility, build your brand, or simply show the world who you truly are, On3 is here for you. They showcase the complete person, celebrating your passions, perseverance, and the pursuit of excellence beyond sports. These web pages are the ultimate digital hub to elevate your brand and highlight your journey. So head on over to www.on3.io/microsites and get started with On3 today. There is a drastic difference between how they look on offense and defense. He was very good with explaining it, from a coaching standpoint and giving the schematical things and ideas with JT. When we look at their offense, I thought they were, I'm saying simple. Okay. I know we kind of talked about it. It was simple. That's why they're not getting a lot of yards. Yes, they got a lot of people hurt. Their offensive line has been different and changed a bunch. They're rotating quarterbacks around. Yes, but I think that is definitely their weak part of what they, would try to do. So I think Kane Womack will have a lot of stuff to support this. And as he said, if they're not throwing the ball down the field and we're sitting and we're just rallying and using our speed, they might have a hard time moving the football on us, as long as we don't let the quarterback get loose with his legs. And hopefully we had enough experience trying to tackle Milroe in practice or whatever that they got.
Yeah, but we've seen some running guys, Sellers from South Carolina, the USF quarterback. It's probably the fastest quarterback they've seen all year.
And the guy from Vanderbilt.
Yes. Well, they ain't get that one.
Right. So, does that become dangerous to us? I don't know. Maybe they just key on that and say, do not let him run the ball. So it's going to be interesting to see how we play. I'm just thinking that we have more guys in the box and maybe dare them to throw it some and let our guys go cover. Now, when you look at this defensive side, you can see much better football, right? See a lot of 4-man front, but sometimes there are 3-man fronts. I put these in here because it was, how they actually work their contains versus maybe not, or what we talked about last week. Are they in their gaps or not, right? So you get these 2 guys who come off the ball. If you look, you can see where gaps are supposed to be in. I don't know if that guy's in a tight.
Yeah, he looks like he's in a
or a 2-eye.
Well, my drawing tool is not working.
I think he falls back on the backside, and the front guy actually stays up and does well. I think I can't remember. Um, but while you're trying to get your green marker, is that considered green? Yeah. So he actually falls backside, but the other guy actually does really good of taking the appropriate steps. On number 79 to actually stay contained, and then you let this linebacker run like JT's always talking about. You see some space,
Yeah, just go.
he's going right. But who really makes the play is that defensive end because he gets outside and he doesn't get hooked or reach. That's hard to do. I don't know if you know how hard that is to step laterally and fast enough, get your hands up and not let 79 get his head on the outside of you. They have to work the heck out of that in practice all the time. And this is really, really good by him. And then when you got a running back or a linebacker feeling like that, it makes it hard to run the football. So let's at least wanted you to see that. Okay.
Well, I think my pen's broken, so oh well.
All right.
I can.
And I don't think I drew on all of these. Maybe I did. I can't.
We'll try. We'll try drawing in our other tool over here.
Okay.
Let's see. You do have annotations here, all right? So we're looking at the interior guys. Let's get 95 is he's a big boy.
He is. Let's see if I actually wrote down. Write his number down on this cheat sheet. One of them's a freshman. How you doing, Dan? Thank you, sir. All right. So I just wanted you to see how these guys play, right? So I think one of them actually gets reached like crazy bad. The one on the left, I think the center.
Yeah, that's not great.
No, so he's in a 3 technique, and we talked about he gets reached by the other guy.
Ugh.
That is not supposed. So, as I just told you,
He
how
almost
hard
didn't even
it
need to
is.
help.
No, so where I just gave a lot of praise the first time, you can go back and look at the other guy too.
Yeah,
he
so
gets reached by the tackle.
Again, when we're talking about getting reached, we're talking about the gaps that you're lined up in, and unless there's a stunt called, you're lined up in these gaps for a reason, right? So you've got a guy that should be manning this gap, and you got another guy that's out here, and when that gap moves and they leave you, and you're 2 gaps over, right? You've lost this one, and you've lost this one, and you're about to lose this one. That can make for a very poor play.
No, that guy
Thankfully,
does a really
you got
good job
people
of
running
getting
to the
over
ball.
top. Now he did right. He didn't go underneath the linebacker, which a lot of times they'll try to cheat and go underneath 74
and go this way. And then
then
you're
they
trying to
don't
chase, and then it's going to be up to that guy back there to make a tackle.
Yep. So he did a darn good job. It's pretty cool. I don't know how you're doing that. That might help with our problem too if you're clouding out the video like that.
Well, that's on accident because I keep hitting the wrong button.
So maybe that's something like that ain't ours. But anyway, I just wanted you to see that, right? So sometimes they're there, sometimes they aren't. You can look at the secondary. What do I have here? Oh yeah, I was gonna. We didn't get a chance to really ask him about this just because we didn't have enough time with him. But one of the things I was going to ask him, JT, is really what coordinators see when they get these mug defenses, meaning that what we talked about. It was similar last week when everybody's up on the line of scrimmage. Now, what is his mindset as a coordinator? Because we're going to get this probably just because it's something that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Who's rushing? Who isn't?
And how do you ID? Who you do you keep the same ID? Do you because you're definitely not going to fan here. That's not. Well, I mean, I guess you could
Let the running back
and
take
let the
it.
running back insert. I don't typically think you. I don't know. I'm not an online coach. Maybe you do want a fan. Who knows?
Yeah, and I think that just goes into tendencies, and they're trying to figure out what do they normally do when they line up like this. Who's dropping out? How often do they blitz? You know, they're communicating and checking and talking. I think a couple of them, both of the guys drop out. So a fan,
And a
kind
twist.
of like what we're saying, and the twist is, it's you got to pick that up. Now,
He throw this ball on time though, and you're all right.
yes, it just goes into how sharp is Milrow going to be with this, and does he get in his panic? Does he panic, or does he? Because he could actually do this,
Mm-hmm.
which I think I have one more clip. I don't think we have very many defensive plays on here.
No, we've got 2 more.
Yeah, and the secondary, if you wanted to, if you're looking at this, okay, and so this is another one that I really kind of want to ask him about is short yardage and how you start planning for this and why. My question is, and maybe you can just talk about it and give me your belief of, is something in short,
4th and
okay,
1.
and
Well, let's get the full context here of what's going on in the game. It's 4th and 1. Ball's on your own 44. Early in the second quarter, and you're down by 3. So there's everything you need to know.
but you get so they give you the motion. Maybe they're trying to get you to jump first, but when you watch their play, they actually run the jet sweep with the other guy outside to the left. So it's not that good. You see, he fakes that. No, who's going to fall for that fake?
Yeah, the ball ain't in the snap yet.
But so he gets set, and then here comes the other motion going the other direction, and they hand it to him. Now that defensive end, look at this pursuit, okay? When we're talking about aggressiveness and how they're doing. Look at that guy at the top. He totally destroys that. I don't know if he's a tight end or a tackle, but he's got him.
This guy right here.
Yeah, that's big boy football. He's disrupting.
Yeah, make him bounce. Right now, he has to take that angle, which gives me time and him time, and
Yeah. Now he misses him, but it's just a fact of okay. What did you see to actually think that guy was going to be able to block that giant? Because that could have been a terrible loss. Now he didn't make it anyway, but it just started off bad to me.
Yeah.
So whatever we're thinking about short yardage, they do have some dudes. Yeah, their record is not very, indicative of maybe how good their defense plays because they keep losing, but their defense actually keeps them in games most of the time. It's just like you said, if they don't create turnovers. All right.
Well, I mean, they win this game, right? If the offense doesn't turn the ball over on what was effectively the last play of the game.
Correct. So we got to protect the football. They got some pretty good deal. JT on the defensive side, if you do go back and watch it before, one of the things, this is not about this play, but the safety that's kind of in the middle of the field, they use him almost like a robber a lot. Like he doesn't drop down in the box, but I think he keeps his eyes available.
Yeah,
so
he's kind of
go
flat-footing.
attack the run.
He's
Yes.
aggressive on the run.
He is going in for the run, and then he kind of holds it in the middle of the field and kind of backs out of it, if it's a pass. So it's kind of, different in that sense. So I imagine they're going to have to game plan for that. And do they try to do some play action and get some shots over his head? Or, do you just take the one-on-one matchups on the outside? He's kind of creeping a little bit, but I don't know if you would call that a quarter half, or what this. If it's man, I don't.
Nah, it looks like a little bit of man to me, and I'm specifically looking at this guy because that's a man turn all the way, right? That's man. His eyes are here. His eyes are there. I think they're probably playing games with these three, like these two over that one.
Yes. And so,
And
what do you
then
see out of this?
looking down at the bottom, like that's man, and he ain't even worried about it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you see outside routes because I did see this in some of the film that it kind of looks similar in a lot of it, but maybe they had to use your number 3 on out routes, the third wide receiver or something to try to run away or really do games, get this to give him some good throws. But the point of this was ultimately, if you're looking at it, those defensive ends are screaming up the field like majorly.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, if you think Jalen Miro ain't going to take off and just go, these guys can't run up the field like it. Not unless they just know it's a. I don't even know if they want to do it on a passing down if you don't have anybody spying for them.
And Dan McKinney asked, "Do you think that Ryan Williams can be Luther Burden in this comparison? Is he going to take the same attention?" I think they're going to have to. I think Alabama is going to have to force that attention. I don't think the game plan going in is that they're going to be keying on Ryan Williams. Venables is a very good defensive coordinator, very good defensive mind. But I think going into this, you have to know where you got to know who the most dangerous guy is. And as much as us as Bama fans love Ryan Williams, the most dangerous guy on the field is still number 4. So I think, I don't know whether or not you're going to get these ends like this. But I do think you're going to get a lot of this. Where this dude's just going to sit here and wait and try to spy. And I think that you're probably going to get a lot of this to try to help force Jalen to get rid of the ball. Say, hey, we're not going to let you, or we're going to try not to let you run. And
No
we're
more
going to trust
no
our
more
corners.
185-yard rushing game by your
Right?
quarterback?
Yeah. No, they're going to say, yeah, you're not going to beat us with 185 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns. Or you're going to have to do something else. And I think if you want that attention on Ryan Williams, you have to demand it. You've got to start hitting people over the top and say, hey, you can't cover me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think I agree with you, JT. I think that they're going to have to try to stop Milroe from this because if he gets loose, then it really just opens up other can of worms where now you're really going to get yourself in trouble. I don't think they force him the ball. I think they try to get him involved. Maybe they throw some quick spots and things just to kind of make you figure out where he is. But, until he sets up the big shot and you get them safeties really hunkering down, it's kind of hard to do. Particularly if you got guys that are kind of. I know this is a red zone shot, but they kind of do the same thing out in the open field from what I've seen. It's look very similar. Okay.
I think that's it. That's our last defensive clip.
Okay. Well,
What is this?
you went back to the old film that
I know. I
didn't
clicked
get
on
in
the wrong 2-man, I guess.
I don't know if we ever dropped that whole film anyway on those punters. With the guy from
I don't
Florida.
remember. Yeah, I don't remember if we did or not.
Needless to say, all right. So what do I think about this game? I still think we win. I think that there's some challenges that you go in. Now you got to remember too, Venables had a couple of weeks to try to get ready for Alabama. how much film has he watched? What have they done? You got to know that he's a good coach that can scheme up some things. So
Well, he's a national championship winning DC.
yeah, so you better believe he's going to try to create some kind of confusion, and just show something different. That's going to be a little bit challenging until we can work this chess match and try to figure out how to get free and open. I think it's the same thing for our defense. That I think we got an upper hand on them, and if we create some turnovers, maybe get some short fields, some sacks, create whatever it is, that if we get out and get a jump on them, I didn't think that maybe it can get ugly, or ugly meaning 2 or 3 touchdowns ahead. I think the spread is 13.5, 14 points that we're favored by. I think if we have to create the turnovers, then we cover.